Hello, welcome. Today I have another ink video review for you. It is a sample from Sailor. It's called Ink Studio 464. And I got this at Goulet Pen, so if I can find a link, I'll leave it for you down below. And these inks are really fun because they just have a number. They don't give them a name. And I can never tell how the inks are going to look until after I swatch them because I typically can't find good swatches when I'm looking for them online. So, and because they just give them a number, you never really know what the story is behind the ink or what it's supposed to represent. So this gives us no clues, and I think that's kind of fun because then it's like a surprise, at least for me anyway. So let's just put some extras down here. We'll see if there's any kind of shading or anything going on. So far it's a really pretty blue, maybe kind of leaning turquoise or teal, whichever, take your pick. Okay, get a little bit on here. Oops, there we go. I think I got some. Let's see, a little bit. All right, 464. This is by Sailor, and I'm going to leave this aside to dry. I'll be right back. All right, and now I've got some copy paper here, and I like testing these out on copy paper because you never know how they're going to perform, and also sometimes all you have handy is some copy paper and you just want to know if it's worth using the ink, if it's going to behave on the copy paper. All right, so this was number 464, and this is copy paper. So yeah, this is a really pretty shade of like I'd say a very blue-green. I don't know what to call that. Teals, turquoise, and blue-green all seem to use the names interchangeably. Very pretty. All right, let's see what it does on the HP 32. So I'll put some ink here. And if there's a color that you would like to see me review, just leave a comment down below. If I have the ink or if I can get it, then I'll make a video of it. Alright, this is number 464, and this is HP 32 paper. And this paper has a really smooth surface, so the ink sometimes shows off its different properties on this paper. It's a good in-between if you can't get a more expensive paper or you just don't want to spend the money. Some of the inks perform really well on this. So here's how that looks. It looks like there might be some shading going on. We'll have to see. All right, here is Tomo River. All right. In Tomo River, I usually have really good luck with the paper showing off all the different qualities of the ink. Okay, here's 464. It's Tomo River. There we go. All right, so we're going to check on that swatch we made real quick and see how that's doing. I will be right back. All right, so here is how the ink performed on the paper. So on the copy paper, it did okay. There is a tiny bit of feathering where the ink was laid down real heavy. I think maybe if you used somewhere between like an extra fine to a medium nib, it would be okay. But it's a very pretty, kind of like I said, a turquoisey teal, kind of like a blue-green kind of a color, very pretty. But then on the, actually I'll hold this up with this one, on the HP 32, you can see the color is much richer and bolder on here. It just has a much nicer look than on the copy paper, which is to be expected. That's pretty typical of most of the inks. But you can also see a lot of beautiful shading in here around the tops of these loops and the four here in the downstrokes. Some very, very nice shading and a tiny, tiny bit around the edge here of this swatch. So this has some really nice shading for this, this color. It's very pretty. And then on the Tomo River, you get an even wider like a variety of shading, much lighter lights and darker darks. Very, very pretty. You can see it very clearly in the writing down here. Lots and lots of shading, and like up here in these loops. So, you know, this is a very pretty color and had some really nice shading effects here on both of these papers. So this is really an ink that it just seems like it would do. It does okay on the coffee paper, but does really well in the HP32 and the Tomo River. Very, very pretty. And then here is how that swatch came out, and this is just a really beautiful color. You can see the halo shading around these ribbony swirls here. And down here in the writing, you can really see the shading in the writing. It's very, very pretty. So this is a very nice ink if you want a bottle of it. I'll see if I can find it and leave a link for it down below. And if this video was helpful to you at all, or if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.